Welcome back. You're listening to Drive Time. I'm your girl Dani.
And I'm your girl Jade.
And you're locked into Wavy Wednesday.
What's up?
And now it's time for my favourite part of the week. We got a guest.
Okay, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yo, what's happening?
It's Zeeko. We've got his gorgeous, lovely fellow cancer manager, Latoya, here as well.
Yes.
Hello, thanks for having us.
I can't wait. Zeeko, where did the name come from?
Do you know what? Like, Instagram.
Really?
That was my name on Instagram, innit? Like, for
Right, okay.
years. Like, so, well, a couple years now. So, yeah, man, I kind of rolled with that. Yeah, it kind of just was natural.
How did it form?
Zeeko.
That was it.
I don't know.
Did you ever
It was
have
just
like...
the
So long
name.
ago with the whole Instagram thing, I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I came across it. Was just...
It was meant to be.
Was you ever
Yeah.
called anything else? Did you have another rap name?
Was there
or
like
something?
a
What,
trial and
rap-wise?
error?
Now, rap-wise, I've never had another name ever, other than probably when I was like a kid and I used to MC us on the grind thing. Rap-wise, nah, never another name. Producer-wise, though.
Oh, go on.
I've had another name.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the... I'm interested to hear. What was the name?
I've still got one of the names now, but before then, like, I've been called just like Zeke before.
Okay.
Producer-wise, Zeke the Freak. So
Hey.
I'm called now.
I like L though. It kind of like, it's a bit more fancy. It's a bit French.
Do you know
Yeah.
what? I think I watched Narcos. It gassed me a little bit. That's what I think happened.
What?
I don't know what happened. I think I watched Narcos. Yeah, it gassed me a little bit. I was like, you know
one
what,
of them.
El Chapo and all that, man. I thought,
Yeah.
that was equal.
Wait, so how long have you been doing music for? Because you said you were producing before you were rapping.
Oh man, like I've been out here for
Time.
forever. To be honest, it's probably too long at times. But I started making music probably my first beat. I was probably like 13. I think I was 13.
Really?
Years old. Gorsell Studio was 13 years old.
Mad.
Is it? Wait, so how have you been making music during lockdown then? If you were going to studios before?
I got to a certain age. My brother had equipment before me. He always had equipment in his room when he used to live with me.
Yeah.
And then what I did is he actually, when he moved out, got a house with his wife. He said he didn't have space for the computer. He gave me the computer, give me his equipment. I could carry on from there.
Yeah.
After that gave me time to save up and buy my own equipment. So now when I've got my own equipment, which I've had for a while now, I just crack on in my room.
Yeah. Wait, so is it a musical family then?
You could say so,
Yeah.
to some degree. Yeah.
I feel like that's always good. Like, the best artists come from very musical families. Like, what did you listen to growing up?
Yeah.
And how does that influence what you write now as well?
That's a good question.
Yeah, who like, did your
You know
parents
what?
play in the house?
You know what's so crazy? Between like my mum and my dad, like from their backgrounds being so vastly different, I would say the influences come from so many different directions, weird directions that you'd probably laugh. I
Go
listen to, so for example, I've always looked up to my big brother. My big brother, I remember hearing in primary school, like Rough Riders, Missy Elliott, Big Pun. These were all CDs that he used to go and buy from HMV. I used to go, and he had a CD rack. I used to go and get the CDs off the CD, look through them, listen to. I wasn't allowed parental advisory them times,
Oh.
Yeah, of course.
but I used to sneak listen to all of them. So I'm influenced by all of them.
Missy Elliott.
DMX, 50 Cent. I remember when the
Yes.
50 Cent album came out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You know what, don't you think, like, before we had streaming, we used to, like, at least me, used to think music was so precious. Like, I would go and buy a CD, I'd listen to it non-stop. Now I feel like music can be so, it just comes and goes so quickly.
It's quite accessible as well.
And there's so many, like, one-hit wonders.
It's like fast
disposable.
fashion.
Yeah. You know what,
Yes.
streaming is so good and bad like that.
Um,
But also what you were saying is, like, so many different influences. I feel like you can't write music these days without having so much influence from different things with streaming. And I was thinking, like, there's so many subgenres of subgenres these days. And I like that it is so different, that you've got so much, it's going to stand out way more.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think the subgenre thing, is it shows growth of all genres. That's what I like, and it shows integration. Because no subgenre just comes from one. It will be something with a little bit of this, and then things mixed together, and it becomes, you've got you see if you look at, like, say, the American culture now, a lot of people are listening to the Little Uzi Verts and know, they're essentially rock stars within a rap genre.
Yeah,
How did that
yeah.
happen?
That's mad. Yeah.
And also, like, something that I've been hearing a lot more recently is like hip hop and country. That's really interesting to me. I feel like Lil Nas X has like made that way more mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wavy still.
Yeah.
It's
I
really
love country music.
Yeah.
Country music is great, but again, I listen to way too much Timbaland.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got
All that
to.
stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
Timbaland, where's he been? I miss him.
You know what? He's here. He's active.
Is he actually?
Yeah, man.
Really?
I follow him on Instagram. He's still
Okay.
doing things, man. Like he's still doing.
Right.
Things. Definitely, I'm not a huge like influence for me.
Really?
He's my brother's favorite producer. He's a major influence
Right,
for
okay.
me. He isn't my favorite producer, but he's up there.
Yeah.
He's definitely up there. Oh, I miss Timbaland. His tracks, like his production, how he like mixes the beats and it just has this and it just all ties in.
The
So
Nelly
nicely.
Furtado era, I was so
Yeah.
here for
He
it.
had no right doing that, by the way.
What?
And that's the beauty of music. And, you know what I mean?
There's no right and wrong way to make music either.
Yeah.
You just
That's
make
the thing.
the music
But
that.
everyone's a bit scared, so we sit amongst like these invisible constraints of what we might be able to do, what we should do with this person like it, with that person like it, and we forget that. I don't know about anyone else, but the way I interpret music, I will hear personalities in it through what their production is as a producer initially. So when you can kind of bring that through, it gives you your individuality in it. I think.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
what the difference was between those Timbalands, Pharrells. Now you've got the whole of these other producers that are writing now. I don't really know the difference.
Yeah.
If I'm honest.
Yeah, to be fair, I do feel like you have those artists where you'll listen to it and you're like, yeah, that's a so-and-so track, that one. Like, people have created different sounds and developments that it's like people come along and copy that later on and it becomes cookie cutter. But yeah, like, what is your production process like? Are you walking around like Sainsbury's, picking up your Tropicana, you're coming up with your lyrics? Or is it more like you'll hear like a beat or you'll create a beat and then you'll come up with the lyrics after? What's that process like?
But like as a rapper,
Yeah, both as a rapper and a
as
producer.
a rapper, I work nights in it.
Right, okay.
I work in.
I'm a night owl as well.
I've got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Sort these parcels. Yeah.
Creativity comes out at night.
So I sometimes get annoyed. The manager might have said something. I'm annoyed. I might be feeling a certain way. And these thoughts, I have notes. I'll write down. It might not be even a rhyme, but I'll write down that first line of notes on my notes, and then maybe I'll develop from there in my break time. I've only got a little minute to just put down this one line.
Yeah. So you just got to do what.
So as a writer, I'll do that, or I feel like I'm a guy who writes from experience. I don't like to write about nothing, and I find it hard to write about nothing. When someone says make a wavy track now, just make a track, people are gonna dance, just talk about anything. I find it hard, and I also feel like, why do I have to do it? Everyone else does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Leave
not
me out.
your.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
it's
trying to
true.
say?
Stay in
Search
your
someone
lane.
else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Like at the same time, as a producer now, as I've developed and spoke to my brother and he's given me a lot of advice, there is no rules anymore. That's how I operate. There's no rules. Adverts. So you see, like I like to sample sometimes,
Yeah.
or I might hear some notes. I might hear a certain chord progression. I think,
That's
I like that, or I like them notes, or I like that sound, I like them strings.
Yeah.
Anyone can get it. I remember asking my brother one time. I said, "Yo, D, I need some inspiration. Like, who can I sample? Like, give me someone." He was like, "Anyone can get it." Ever since, I've just been like, "Yeah, that's what it is." If KFC advert, sample.
Yeah. You know what? I literally love that. One of the things that always gets to me is when I hear like hard productions with like classical music and instruments are part of it, and it's just like I love listening to it, and every time you hear it, you hear a new sound, like a new instrument or something.
Yeah.
I love it.
Jamie XX does that very well.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wait, so tell me a little bit about this album. Did you produce it during lockdown? Came out in November.
This EP was just to like clear the air. I was never a rapper, and I was never meant to be a rapper. I used to go in the studio to produce and hold sessions and whatever. I had a little spot in Old Trafford with Diamond, and what happened was I used to go through events in life, go to the studio and vent one of my own beats, or I would hear, or I might have been working with someone. I think it was Sleazy at the time, and I'd be working with him, and I'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna put a verse on that as well, because I'm feeling what's going on. Then I'd write, but then I'd bring my friends in, afterwards, after the session's finished, with my friends, I show my friends, like, yo, here's what I've done. Like, you know, just for us to listen to.
Yeah.
You know, I come out the booth one time, they went, we need more. That's what, do you know what I
It's
mean?
like, nah, that's just cold. That's
They
literally.
said, nah, we need more. But since then, if I'm honest with you, I was just peer pressure to release anything.
Yeah.
Really, just like, you need to release
but-
one right now. I'm like that with my friends as well. Like my other friends who are in music, if they've like, oh, I've been to the studio, come through, listen to what we've produced, and I'm like, rah, that's sick. Like, do more of that.
But you know what? I honestly think the best artists and the most successful artists are the ones that like kind of didn't go like, yeah, I want to be a singer, I want to be rich and famous, blah blah blah. It's the people that actually really fell into it and like they just found the passion and they did what they needed to do. You can't sense the desperation on something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just natural talent.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, I agree, man.
I think it's also important that as like a rapper, producer, whatever, like it's important that you make music that you like. You're gonna be the one listening to it. You're making it. Do you know what I mean? Like, forget about everybody else.
It's funny you say that actually, because like obviously in the process of making something, I have loads of music that's out over the years, and if anyone that knows me knows, if I don't like it, it's not going out. Period.
Well, it's like if
I'll delete it.
will you? Wait, so what if you actually come out with a banger and it's literally a hit and you're like, but I hate it. I never want to perform it. I never want to hear it.
I'll never perform it or hear it.
Really?
Because some artists, they do produce
But
some
this is what
commercial
I'm saying,
music.
like the good thing about maybe like being a producer as well, and from the people that I got around me, should I say, I have a good team. So I have trusted ears around me. I call them my trusted ears.
Yeah.
You get me? So I don't have everyone that's like, I have some people like my brother and Diamond and a couple other producers around me that I get a professional opinion. We call them musos. They're like my musical family that they my opinion from them, it's not a general opinion. I'm talking to them from
a technical,
from a wizard level.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So the rest, like, but I have some good general ears around me as well, and good ears in the mid ground. So,
but you know what? It's good that because you know when like artists, you know, for example, if someone's up for a Grammy, the Grammy board look at not just the critics' opinions but the people's opinions because
It
they're
matters.
very different.
Yeah, completely different. So I have that's a good way to put it. I have my critics, my critiques, and then I have my like my general ear.
Who go more off the feeling and they're more off the technical
like,
side.
I play it to them. I
that's
have
good.
certain friends that I bring them in the studio. I say, yo, listen, what do you think about this? And what I do is I often don't wait for any words. I play it and watch them. I catch them by surprise. They might be mid-sentence. I just press space, but I just play that.
They're like, their eyes just like.
I look at them and I'll know.
Wait, so have you ever had someone say that's terrible?
Nah, only me.
Really? Well, yeah, you're gonna be
your
harsh
biggest
as fuck.
critic.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
All creators
Okay.
are that way.
But I mean,
Yeah.
of course, I've but because I've
Gotta
you know
evolve.
what it is? Because I've been in the game so long in terms of like making music. My years of making rubbish music after being in for 10 years, or plus, they're gone now. I'm not making any more rubbish music.
You're a professional now.
I'll delete it before the beat's finished. and I'll
Yeah.
start again.
You just know it's not going to go anywhere.
All I'm making is good things.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's good that you're like sticking to your ground and you're like, I want to only like make the music that I want to make and that's it.
Yeah, because like one thing that like speaking to Latoya and that's reminded me and stuff is I'm not, as much as I'm not actually really trying to sell a separate product to me. More time if I'm trying to sell me, then I'm the product in it.
It's an extension of you.
Yeah, I worry about it. You get me?
You're the product, you're the brand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, so how come you wanted to work with him? Like, what is it about Zeeko as an artist?
Well, music, like, go way back.
Really?
To, like,
Tell us about it.
Yeah, we met in college.
Right, one of them.
Yeah, we met in college. Zeke used to look at me really funny for a year. I used to think I did him something because he used to look at me like,
Really?
And like,
There's a thin line between love and hate.
I just
listen.
got a screw face sometimes, that's it.
No, the screw face was serious. And I remember one time I said to my friend, I was like, yo, Dre, like, have I done something to this guy? And then he was like, no. And then I can't remember after that. We were just like,
The rest is history.
the rest is history, yeah. Like, we've just been really like close. And then when it came to the EP, do you know what? It's really weird how everything happened because like I was on my own journey, like with doing music work with One Way, with Roxana.
Shout out to Roxana, I love her.
Miss Debbie.
The girl. And then, like I started like doing just a few more music bits and like working as like a researcher. I don't know. I just kind of like was like falling into a couple skills and like putting them together. And then when Zeke was asking me a few questions back and forth, we were both like, no, don't do this. You should do this, or strategically that works better. And then he was just like, why don't you just manage me? And then
Have you had any management experience before?
no.
So you're kind of doing this together, you're on this journey together.
Yeah, but now I also have a job as a talent manager.
Oh, right.
At TPG.
Shout.
So, you know,
She's doing
shout
bits.
I love that. It's a true love story. It's a true love story. Right, we're going to get into some music. We're going to play outro. Do you want to introduce your track?
Yeah, man. Obviously, this one, like, funnily enough, like, as much as this is the outro, I actually recorded this before I recorded the single that I put out from the EP in the first place, which is weird.
Yeah.
But it kind of just, I felt like instead of like it being like a separate topic, it kind of summarized everything. At the time, it got everything off my chest that current time, and that was it. So yeah, man, hear me out.
So listen, it's mad we do things backwards on Wavy Wednesdays. We
Yeah.
play the outro first.
All right, here we go.
So that's so
Dani.
so
This is the situation
you know
I was
what I
talking
mean?
about. Yeah.
So Ezekiel 25:17,
Yeah.
Path of the Righteous Man. It's a passage in it.
Yeah.
Although I'm not religious, so to speak, I still do live by the message of that passage, and it was how I was named. And my dad's not religious, so I believe my dad named me, and he made me that for a reason at a certain time, and I feel like I've grown into my name. But yeah, basically 25:17, if you ever get to read the passage, or if you've ever watched Pulp Fiction,
I love Pulp Fiction.
well, there's a passage there where he says the whole, I put it on the end of one of my songs actually. Yeah, but that's where the name comes from.
Yeah.
That EP was not like I didn't want a name. That was just like, this EP, if I could have called it anything else, I'd have just called it me.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what I
a
mean?
creative way to have a self-titled album without like self-titling.
Yeah. Because
But I
I
do-
was nobody as rap-wise.
Yeah. It's such a good album. I literally love it. Some of my favourite songs, Show Me Love, that is so on my date night playlist. That is such
Pure
a good song.
bangers, mate.
Yeah, pure vibes. Obviously, Bros Only, pure vibes. And Better Life and Intro as well. Love them. They're so good. Yeah, obviously, you said in Better Life, trying to buy a house, trying to find a wife, and look up to the sky. I hope my future's bright. And I was watching an interview recently with Charlemagne the God. And he was basically talking about how like he doesn't want to date someone with like a hood mentality, and he's more than happy to date someone that's come from where he's come from. But like, how do you have a mindset to get out of like difficult times and difficult traumas and to like look for a better life?
Powerful question.
Yeah.
I think
that's
Yeah,
a
no,
lot.
it is.
Such a answer.
That is a lot to digest.
It's a
I'll
lot.
give you a few seconds.
it's a deep one. But I think coming out of any, as a guy who's been through a lot of difficult situations, coming out of any difficult situation, I think mindset and viewpoint is what's going to get you out of there. No matter what you say or no matter what other people say, it's not going to get you out of there. Your mindset and viewpoint, as in, if I'm looking up towards my way out, and if my viewpoint is from that, looking towards the direction of bettering myself, then that's how I think is the only way to do that. So I always have hope, even when I don't have belief.
Yeah.
I still have hope. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So
It's very
that,
important.
I think, for me is that's what carries me through anyway. Like,
So
to get out.
would you agree with his statement
Yeah.
then that you wouldn't date someone from?
Why?
He's saying
Do you know
I
what?
wouldn't date someone with a hood mentality, and I kind
I
of
don't know what hood mentality is.
Yeah.
But how can you categorize that?
I think he's talking about someone that just doesn't want better for themselves and they don't want to better themselves. Because I understand what he's saying from a perspective.
Okay.
Like, I don't surround myself in people who I'm not going to learn from. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And who constantly want to stay in a bad situation.
Yeah, I think I heard it better the second time what you were saying.
Well, again, I
It
just
can-
think
Yeah, how can you just be like, oh yeah, like obviously there's certain behaviours like trapping, but do you know what I mean? You can't.
your viewpoint
profile
should
it.
always be forward, innit?
Yeah,
So whether
always.
you're trapping, whether you're doing whatever, you should be looking at what's next after the trapping.
Always
What's
to
next
better
after
yourself.
this?
Yeah,
Do you get what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Right, I'm in the mud right now. What's next when I'm not in the mud?
Yeah.
That's what you should be. How am I gonna get out of the mud? That's
Yes.
what you should be looking at. So, but at the same time, if you want to speak to someone that you like and they ain't in that same direction,
Yeah.
don't hold them account. They might not be ready yet, because there's different times and stages that people come to these realizations. So don't force people. They'll grow.
The power of divine timing.
Don't chat to them if you don't want to chat to them. But yeah, timing, innit, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So I agree with him, but I don't at the same time. I don't think you should say it. That's your preference. I like chicken wings, but I don't have to tell everybody.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Something that you actually said in one of your tracks, I think it was the intro, was list of conversations we avoid, and it inspired a segment idea. So on my Instagram, I posted, is there any questions that you've always wanted to ask but you've never asked, or you avoid asking? And I've got some good responses. I had to say no to some of them because, drive time. But basically, let's go through these because I have some opinions. Okay, so one of my friends said, what actually counts as cheating? This is a conversation I would never have with a boyfriend or even my friends because I just feel gross about it. But what actually counts as cheating? What can I get away with? The lines are just so blurry to me.
How? What can I get away with?
You know what? I do get where she's coming from because it's a...
That question's coming from a funny place for me.
Do you think? Yeah, okay, we were speaking recently, though, about the Sweetie and Quavo situation. Yeah. And something she said was, how can you be with someone when they're giving intimacy to someone else? Someone cheating and sleeping with someone else is different to me than them holding hands with someone, for example. I'd rather them sleep with 50 girls than hold a hand with a single girl. Do you know what I mean?
Are you measuring the cheating by emotional availability and unavailability?
Yeah, I don't know if that's
I think
whether it's emotional or not.
I mean, it can be different for everyone because people have got different relationships, like people are in like polyamorous relationships where they've got like different people that they love at the same time and they all know about each other, and like that's mad. Like that girl, like that woman that's got 2 wives on TikTok that we spoke about.
It's crazy.
So so they might not have like cheating in there, like because like they love so freely and they love multiple people at a time. But I feel like if you've gone into a relationship with somebody and you've established that is monogamous where like you just want to be with each other, one person, and you've established like that's the relationship you want to have. So then if you kiss somebody else or do other stuff with somebody else, like that would be classed as cheating.
Okay, right, but I was watching the ZZ Mills show and I can't remember who the guest was, but they were basically saying like, whoever the guest was like saying monogamy just doesn't exist and we shouldn't be selling this like riding off into the sunset narrative, because how can you be with one person for the rest of your life and never ever fancy someone else? Do you think it's even possible?
I think it comes down to how you measure love.
Yeah.
And what love means to you. Mm-hmm. And then even like dissecting that can be really techie. But you love people differently, but then I feel like someone who would say that kind of wants to explore everything before they can be like, right, okay, I found my person. Sometimes people want to experience everyone. Sometimes you learn more about yourself through the experiences you have with people.
Yeah.
Can you,
know what I mean?
Can you cheat on someone but still love the person that you cheated on?
You love them, but you don't love them enough.
You don't,
you cheated on them.
Because
that's what I think.
Especially if you know that would hurt the person, then the intentions.
You can definitely. Yeah, exactly. So it all comes down to boundaries, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Your boundaries.
Yeah.
Because I've always thought of it like, so I've got a big brother. You see, like I use him as an example all the time. Is I don't disrespect my brother, or I'd never disrespect my brother because. That doesn't mean we haven't had arguments, but there's certain levels, and that's just because my relationship with my big brother means something to me that I won't jeopardize over my own emotions at the time.
Yeah.
So if you feel a certain way at the time, you get me. Sometimes I've been hungry before. I haven't had my card on me and I haven't had no cash, but I'm not gonna run into the shop, grab all the chicken, and just run out. And my excuse couldn't be I was hungry. But then again, it's how hungry are you? Some people, I don't know why you're asking me for £1. Go and rob some chicken.
Yeah. Some people are hungry. They will go get the chicken, like, regardless of the consequences.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That's kind of like hood mentality.
But love's got nothing to do with sex, so I just never understand. It's not got nothing to do with kissing either, or holding hands or any of that stuff. For me, from what I've seen. So I just don't understand. It might be how some people show it. but it's not. We shouldn't automatically assume those things are together for everybody.
I think this is what they were saying on the ZZ Mills show as well. It's like girls generally, or not all girls can have sex without that intimacy as well and the emotion involved. So that's why holding hands to me that's too much.
It's a mad one. For me, without a certain level of intimacy, sex is boring anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
why the hell do you want to do that?